Welcome back, everyone. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Accursed Towers and get our kind of first overview assessment of it. We're going to go ahead into the menu and then Clan. From there, we'll click the new Accursed Towers option. And before we continue, I actually think clicking this icon is pretty useful. This will show you all of the potential buffs, and you can click on them to see what benefit they offer. I also think it's important to note that the same towers do not stack, meaning that you can only have the benefit from one of each type of tower. I haven't gone through and checked all of these benefits or buffs to see if there's multiple of each towers, but for the ones that I have checked, there's been at least 2 of each tower. 10% dungeon damage. Number of progress orbs increased by 2 in challenge rifts. 15% magic find in dungeons against bosses. 50 combat rating in challenge rifts. Heliquary combat rating increased by 50. 20% damage increase in Accursed Towers, PvP events, Rite of Exile, and Challenge of the Immortal. 20% increase to magic find when defeating a Heliquary boss. 20% to monstrous essence drops. And 30% increased experience received from bestiary and bounty rewards. So you can see how there's a wide variety. Pretty excited about that. I think that's great because it's going to appeal to all clans, not just clans that have certain interests, like, say, competitive PvP clans that participate in things like Rite or the Challenge of the Immortal. There's plenty of other buffs here for clans that just like kind of playing and farming and grinding and so forth. Now, if we go ahead and hit the continue, again, unsure if this screen is different than others, but there's a whole bunch of towers here, and you can also see that some are going to be added, and are not yet active. However, the ones we have at the moment are over here. And the first sample I can show you is that you'll see there's 2 Towers of Greed on the screen right now. Now, if you go ahead and look at these Towers of Greed, 15% increase to magic find when defeating a dungeon boss, contribution chest, and natural accumulation rewards. And these numbers, from everything I've checked, at least on the towers I've verified so far, are identical to the other towers of the same name. So all these things appear, at least at the moment, to be identical. And I think that's good because that's going to allow multiple clans to acquire the same benefits from certain towers. And there is going to be some competition over some of these for sure. However, I think having some towers that are available to everybody will be nice as well, especially if clans aren't as competitive or aren't as whaley as some of the other clans on the server. And like I said, everything I've checked has had at least 2, sometimes many more than that. From a clan leader perspective, you can go ahead and click on any of these clans. You'll see the icon here of the one that we currently have selected, but we could click on any, the Tower of Greed, and I could click this register button, and then we would be registered in attempt to claim this tower when the period opens. Another thing worth showing, obviously we don't have any currently occupied by the clans as it just came out, but we can hit the filter option here and sort through the towers as well, and that will literally remove them from the screen. So I'll show up the status of all towers, and I'm just going to show dungeon rewards. And you'll see that the number of towers has dramatically reduced. And in this case, it looks like we have 3 of those Towers of Greed, meaning all 3 of those have the same benefits. So if you're looking for a specific one, this is just a nice, easy way to kind of sort it and filter everything out. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I know some of this is supposed to be exclusive to clan leaders. I'm happy to share any info I have. If you need screenshots or anything like that, just let me know. All right, with the overview out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about how we acquire these towers after we register for them. Once the timer wears off and the event begins, it appears that players are going to go in solo. And you'll be inside of this event, and you'll be looking for cursed sources. Activating the cursed sources will allow you to defeat the enemies around you and acquire cursed shards. The clan with the highest cursed shards from the top 10 contributors will be victorious. Once you're victorious, there'll be a corruption meter that fills, and when the corruption meter fills, you'll then have to defend the tower. It's also important to note that certain towers actually seem to be like they're active and need to be defended immediately. And one that I've noticed is actually the PvP buff. Sorry, I'm lagging. And if we take a look here at the Tower of Fortitude, there's a note here that says, this tower enforces conflict mode. Unsure, I think that's probably a poor translation, but I think what this is saying is that you're going to have to defend this no matter what, and that you won't have that curse meter, that you're going to have to defend this tower each time, thus making it open to other clans, potentially for your own clan to lose it if you take it the first go around. It's also to my interpretation that in the case of multiple attackers, they'll first compete against each other, and then go on to attack the clan versus the current owners. It'll be very interesting to see how all of this plays out in the future, and I'll certainly be sharing as much gameplay as possible as these things unfold, as well as adding commentary, strategy, and so forth. Thanks for taking the time to watch, and have a great day.